I own a business and I had a problem with the IRS owing taxes of $29,000.
I had a lot of problems with the IRS. They wanted like $365,000, which there's no way I could ever pay that.
The IRS is looking for $34,000 from me.
We own the federal government $131,000 for tax.
Because we ended up owing almost $100,000 by the time all the penalties and interest and everything was accumulated.
Around $97,000 to the IRS.
One of the greatest things that I found working with their offices is the communication.
The phone was answered every single time we called. Every call was returned. Every email, anything we did, it was returned within that day.
I got a hold of Len Stoffinger, and he had a really high rating, and I gave him a call, and he called me the next day, which is unusual.
And what I was impressed at was the time that he took with me to explain everything, and also, most importantly, to see if I qualified for an offer and compromise situation.
The first initial phone call that we had, it was just something about him that I felt was sincere.
I owed $34,000. I was able to settle for $3,000.
We owed almost $100,000 to the IRS, and through their help, we were able to settle for $10,000.
We owed $131,000 and settled for $20,000.
The amount I owed to the IRS was $15,000 with an enormous interest rate. They wiped out the entire amount that I owed. I couldn't have been more relieved.
Around $97,000 to the IRS. And Len's here now, with the papers, they got it down to $13,000.
Spread the word.
So
Len Stoffinger.
Hi, I'm Len Stoffinger. I'm a tax attorney and I focus my entire practice on solving IRS tax problems. I want to take about 1 minute to do this video just to give you an overview so that you know how you can actually solve an IRS problem and get your life back on track. The good news is, even though you're in a touchy spot, there are rules. The IRS has rules about everything. And that includes rules on how to solve your problem, rules on how to get rid of your federal tax lien or your levy. The first rule is that once you authorize my business to help you through a power of attorney, we immediately contact the IRS. And two things happen that are to your benefit when we do that. The first is that there's no more contact between you and the IRS. All direct contact has to go through me. They can't call you anymore. They can't stop by your office. The second benefit for you is that we immediately go to work solving your problem. Now, some people have a long-term problem. In other words, how do I just get a deal with the IRS or a payment plan or get rid of penalties? And other people have both that and an immediate short-term problem of getting rid of a levy, a wage garnishment. Well, if you have a short-term problem like a wage garnishment, we go to work and we stop that immediately. That can be done in a day or two. Now, if we're just talking about the long-term problem, the process takes about 7 to 9 months, and most of that is waiting on the IRS. We actually do the bulk of our work in the first 3 months. And that's a general statement because we can get it done even faster than that. The point, though, is to use the rules that we know to help you solve your problem. Realize that there's a lot that goes into this, and I go into that in more detail in my next video, how the process works. But one more thing that you need to know is that time is not your friend. The longer you wait, the more expensive and the more difficult it becomes to solve your problem. For further free information, go to my website if you're not already there, fixtaxproblemsnow.com. There's a free ebook that you can download that will give you more information in more detail. Or you can call me toll-free at 888-582-4989 for a free 45-minute consultation where I can talk to you specifically about how to solve your specific problem, because each situation is different and you need someone who can analyze what's best for you.